They stood in my living room like strangers. No, worse, like vultures circling something they thought was already dead. My mother's eyes scanned the walls, the polished floor, the subtle scent of cedar and quiet wealth. My brother leaned on the doorframe, arms crossed, smirking like he owned the air in my house. And my father, he stayed silent, but I saw it. The same indifference I'd seen 5 years ago when he turned his back on me. "Nice place," my brother said. "Shame it's not yours anymore." I didn't respond. I just stood there, hands steady, pulse quiet. I'd been waiting for this moment longer than they could imagine. 5 years ago, I was the failure, the embarrassment, the son who lost his job, the one who couldn't keep up. They didn't offer help. They offered humiliation. When I asked to stay until I found work, my mother said, "You're a grown man. Figure it out." My brother laughed. "You should have studied something useful." My father didn't even look up from his newspaper, so I left with a suitcase and the last of my dignity. I slept in my car for 3 weeks, $8 store noodles, and somewhere between hunger and hate, I made a promise. If they ever came for me again, I'd make sure they'd never stand tall again. The world forgets you fast when you fall, but it remembers you even faster when you rise. I didn't tell anyone where I went. I took a job nobody wanted, warehouse work, night shifts, broken back, empty eyes. But I learned, I saved. Then I started something small, freelance accounting for local shops. Within a year, I had clients. Within 3, I had a firm. Within 5, I had everything. The house they were now standing in, the car and the driveway, the silence they once forced me into. When the knock came that morning, I already knew who it was. I'd seen the signs. My father's business went under. My brother's gambling problem had gone public. My mother had posted pictures of simpler times online. Nostalgic bait for pity. I didn't bite, but they did. They came with fake smiles and empty hearts. Family, they said. Funny. That word used to hurt. Now it just made me tired. I let them in. I let them talk. My mother spun stories about how they missed me, how they always knew I'd make it. My brother leaned in and said, "We need help, man. Dad's losing the house. But you're doing good. You can share this one, right?" Family stays together. I remember how quiet I felt in that moment, how the air between us felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. I smiled. "Share this house?" "Yeah," I said. "I mean, technically, it's still in Dad's name, right? He co-signed the deed when you bought it." That's when it clicked. They hadn't come for forgiveness. They'd come for ownership. They thought I was still the fool who signed whatever they told me to. They thought I didn't know. 5 years ago, when I rebuilt my life, I learned one thing. Power doesn't come from love. It comes from preparation. I had changed the deed 2 years ago. The house was no longer under my name. It was owned by my company, registered as a corporate asset, legally protected, financially untouchable. And because my father had tried to forge a co-signature years ago for tax purposes, there was already a pending fraud file sitting with my lawyer. I never pressed charges. I just waited until now. My mother's voice turned sharp. "We're not asking. We're telling you. You don't have a family anymore if you don't help." I looked at her. Really looked. She used to be proud, poised. Now she was desperate. Her words tasted like rust. "You're right," I said softly. "I don't have a family." My brother stepped forward. "Then you'll regret it." That's when I took out my phone. Calm, deliberate, I dialed 3 numbers. 911, what's your emergency? I kept my eyes on them as I spoke. "Yes, I'd like to report trespassing and attempted property fraud. I have the documentation ready." The silence that followed was beautiful. My mother's jaw trembled. My brother's smirk vanished. My father finally looked at me, really looked, and saw what he'd created. "You do this to your own family?" he whispered. I almost laughed. "You did it first. The officers arrived within minutes. I didn't flinch when they escorted them out. I didn't gloat. I didn't say a word. Revenge doesn't need noise. It just needs timing. When the door closed and the house went silent again, I stood there in the same spot. My heartbeat was steady. My mind was clear. I walked to the window, watched the flashing lights fade, and whispered to the empty room, "You shut me out." Now I've shut the door. People think revenge feels like fire. It doesn't. It feels like control. Cold, clean, final. I didn't destroy them. I just let the truth do the work. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't ruin. It's reflection, letting them see what you became without them.